Chapter 1. Working Successfully with Screwed Up People. It doesn't take two people to change a relationship. It takes one. Working Successfully with Screwed Up People is not like any other business book on the market. It is a worker's manual, how-to book, management guide, and co-worker's Bible. You won't find rules for growing the business, staying afloat, or finances bottom line here. This book deals with the driving me crazy people issues that 9 times out of 10 you carry home at night. The gnat issues that come with working with a, pardon the expression, screwed up person. The coworker in the next office who chats more than she works. The off-the-wall supervisor, the customer who, by the way, isn't always right. And the endless list of nail-biters, naggers, hangers-on, bullies, and incompetent, irresponsible co-workers and customers. This book deals with an unspoken, rarely addressed, and universal problem: getting along with those in your work world. You aren't alone if you think the people with whom you work are making your job more difficult. We all have someone with whom we deal, or have dealt, who aggravates and irritates. Perhaps you will appreciate the comment made by a middle-aged man shuffling behind me with his bags at the Salt Lake City airport. All flights to the East Coast were canceled due to snow and ice. Airline customer service was in crisis. My guess is that you have experienced such a maze, where strangers become instant friends, commiserating about the unanticipated nightmare. This baggage-pushing chap's loud pronouncement turned a lot of heads. I'd choose to stand in line any day if it would get me out of the office. I responded, "Wow, must not be much fun at your job." He laughed and quickly justified his remark, saying, "Standing in airport lines is a walk in the park compared to dealing with the crackpots I work with." This man definitely had a working with screwed up people problem. There is trouble in the corral if standing in an airport line is more palatable than returning to your office. Have you noticed at-work problems are addressed as challenges to be met, dealt with, and resolved? People problems, on the other hand, like those of Scott, the man in the airport line, are stuffed under the table, whispered about, and often utilized as excuses for poor job performance. The sort of joking comments we make about our work environments that are the tip of the iceberg of people problems is the meat upon which working successfully with screwed up people will chew. Though this book isn't written about management, supervision, team playing, or even customer satisfaction, it is all about business. So often these hinted-at negative interactions at work clog up the gears of business. Improve workplace relationships interplay, and the practical business side will run more smoothly. Jobs are as much about the undisclosed problems and opportunities of interpersonal relationships as work skills. Maybe Scott stumbled into working with crackpots because, like most of us, he accepted his job when a door opened for employment. He didn't choose the people with whom he worked. He chose a way to earn money for food and rent. Perhaps his job description has him plowing someone else's cornfield without the possibility of planting his own garden. Perhaps he was fortunate to find the career of his dreams. Either way, it is safe to say no one told Scott that signing his job contract included a shotgun marriage to a family of strangers. This book is for all of us who need tactics to free us from spinning around the underwear issues, the ones no one shares except through innuendo, gossip, and raised eyebrows at work. We can be encouraged by practical ways to deal with irritating people problems that cause us to roll our eyes and force us to stuff our true feelings. We can learn keys that unlock positive ways to release stress and use humor as we respond to bang-your-head-against-the-wall aggravating behaviors. Working successfully with screwed-up people may keep you from twisting around the person you find offensive, or, in Scott's case, preferring a 3-hour rescheduling line at an airport to being in the office. Scott is certainly not unique. Michael, a local flower guru, is passionate about his floral business. His creative juices flow with the seasonal changes. He loves his career, even though his stories of challenges make you wonder why he finds it enjoyable. He chuckles about the Godzilla mothers of the bride, is flabbergasted by customers who want to return flower arrangements because dinner parties were canceled at the last moment, and is blown away by those who insist on the impossible. And sometimes I laugh, but my patience has a short life. I need help. What can I do to keep my mouth shut when I am dealing with a jerk or someone with ridiculous expectations? For example, just before closing time on Valentine's Day, Mr. Bigwig came in huffing, "Gotta have some roses, 3 dozen, hurry!" I certainly recognized a man in crisis, but not only were the roses gone, almost every other type of flower was too. I showed the distraught guy what I had available, but nothing suited. He wanted roses and he wanted them now. Finally, tired of being nice, I let it out. "Sorry, late to the party, Larry, we don't have what you want. Next time, try to make your plans a little earlier." Michael acknowledged that his off-the-cuff comment wasn't customer-friendly. He wanted advice on ways to cool down and become dispassionate when his buttons were hot. Perhaps, like Michael, you need help in addressing with calm and self-control the unreasonable expectations of a difficult person. Working successfully with screwed-up people will help you stop muddling through unreasonable expectations, spinning off negative comments, or losing personal control with people who choose their modus operandi to manipulate things their way. The person who is exasperating, difficult, offensive, uncooperative, and unreasonable chooses his behavior. You also can choose. Choose to be unflappable, imperturbable, and unflustered. Remember the story of the little engine that had to climb the big mountain with a very heavy load, too heavy for such a small engine? The other engines taunted him. "You are too small. Your engine was made for straight roads. We are the big dogs. Give up." The little engine felt wimpy and underpowered as he started the journey. Surely, he thought, I can do it if the others can. He began to repeat over and over, "I think I can, I think I can, I think I can." Moving forward required gigantic effort. It felt impossible. He chugged and pulled, heaving as he carried his load over the mountains and through the woods to its destination. He started his journey believing his size determined his ability. He arrived at his destination with a paradigm change. You may need a paradigm change to meet your challenging people problems at work. You need insight that boosts your resolve to handle fitful, hurtful, and unjust behavior. Could a thought really change any of your work problems? After all, life isn't a fairy tale. You aren't a train engine. But like the small engine, you can harness your somersaulting emotions by simple focus. Thoughts direct how we act and react. The first book I wrote in the series was Living Successfully with Screwed-Up People. It has been an international bestseller, picked up by readers just like you in bookstores, airports, grocery stores, and Walmarts. You will probably agree with me that issues at home and in the workplace are somewhat the same. After all, people are people, and we all respond best to the same things: respect, appreciation, and care. But no one believes we handle our home family in quite the same way as our work family. We can disconnect from our work family, keep them somewhat at a distance, and are not as blown out of the water by issues that threaten one of our coworkers. At work, someone's problems, even though they may affect us, are still his problems. We may be willing to help, but we certainly aren't going to carry the same feeling of responsibility we would if it were our spouse or child. There are insights about relationships that will help you through some of the inevitable storms that threaten your home in living successfully with screwed-up people, and your work in working successfully with screwed-up people. You can be happy and satisfied in the midst of overwhelming responsibilities, conflicts, and even difficult relationships if you look at the situation from a new, healthier perspective. Begin fresh today to change any self-defeating behaviors that hold you hostage. The work world may be full of screwed-up people, but your world no longer has to revolve around them. Take back the power from the difficult people in your life. Respond productively when confronted. Remain poised and in control when everyone around you loses it. Win fairly in unfair battles. My question for you is simple. Do you really want to bring about positive change in your negative relationships at work? If so, you must be willing to change first. Unless you change, it is unlikely your relationships will do anything but sink deeper into distress. Change causes surprise. Those around you ask, "Why are you so different?" It is impossible to continue the same type of interaction if one of the parties has metamorphosed his or her actions and responses. It doesn't take two people to change a negative relationship. It only takes one. That's a hope point. So, your workplace is not perfect? Put on your glasses. You are about to see a world of possibilities, a way for you to be free from the webs that screwed up people spin, and a way to find peace in a significant portion of your life, your job. And in the process, you'll find a treasure, an inner strength and confidence forged through the uncomfortable life lessons gleaned from dealing with difficult people. Let's start by remembering these insights. Insights. Jobs are as much about the undisclosed problems and opportunities of interpersonal relationships as work skills. It doesn't take two people to change a relationship. It takes one. You can choose to be unflappable, imperturbable, and unflustered. Questions. 1. Are you finding someone at work difficult? 2. Do you consider the people you work with as family? 3. How many hours do you spend with your coworkers? And 4. How many hours do you spend with those outside of work, not counting sleep time?